Coming up on this episode of We're No Dam Experts, we're continuing our conversation with self-proclaimed dam kid, Kathy Measure. She's telling us all about what it was like to grow up on the townsite next to Morony Dam. We're picking up our conversation now from last week in part 2.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Tame. If you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Did you ever go, because you can access beyond the dam, there's people that fish there, you can get in the water, float, after Morony Dam, you're good to go for quite a while in terms of not encountering any more dams or anything. Did you float or swim or fish or anything past the dam ever?
Never.
Okay.
No, we never really went down there. I mean, we went down that road to get to the powerhouse, and that was it.
Or to take Dad lunch.
That was it. We just, I think in those times, we didn't really. We went fishing, but we went fishing other places.
Yeah.
So
didn't want to recreate where you worked, kind of thing.
It was just, it was just sort of a place to live. And it wasn't like, didn't think about the historic part of it, or didn't know about it, I think, in many ways.
And it's part of history now.
Right.
Yeah.
What years, we don't have to, people can do math. We know you lived there from the time you were born until you were 10, but what was the year you lived there?
I was born in 1947, so from then into the 50s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh,
that was thriving.
So long ago.
It seems like a long time ago, but it's not,
really not.
Not that long ago.
No.
Wow.
Yeah.
Could you hear the water constantly? The dam, was that kind of just white noise to you?
Must have been, because I don't think we heard. You heard it when they, it was spilling over.
Yeah.
And of course when you got closer, but like playing and all of that, I don't remember the background noise really.
Yeah.
No. No.
Does it, when you go there now, like when you've come back, what are you feeling and thinking when you see it now?
Oh, golly. It's like I want to visualize like a little more to get that feeling. And it's really hard now because of the tall grass.
Yeah.
And the trees and the bushes. I mean, it's basically wild.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really hard. It's a little bittersweet.
Is it, in your opinion, because this happens to me, is it better to go back and see it that way versus going back and seeing it just completely dilapidated, like the clubhouse? And
like nothing better than dilapidated something?
I wanted to see the clubhouse because I knew it was still there.
Yeah.
And, and I think seeing a physical structure helps. I think that
provides some orientation.
Yeah. If that wasn't there, I think it would have been much, much more difficult, because even though it's dilapidated, it's a brick structure. So it's not so dilapidated that you can't visualize.
Yeah.
But it's a little hard because honestly, the parking lot sort of took me back because it took out a part of the entryway, and so it seemed like, okay, where am I? So that was a little bit hard for me because it took away that visualization. When I looked at the clubhouse, I could still visualize it dilapidated or not. And then those little garages in the back, those little minuscule garages. And I thought, we put cars in there? Oh my gosh.
Cars were bigger, garages were smaller.
Yeah. And, but it brought it back. in that part. But trying to see past that was like just standing out in the middle of a field and trying to remember it. That part was difficult. So, I mean, it was like I felt good, but it's like I really wanted to explore, but I didn't want to go that far walking in
the tall grass.
the tall grass, you know.
So when you were growing up there, because there's a big brown sign that talks about the history of Morony, and it also talks about how that was the original town site for where Great Falls was supposed to be built.
That's right.
Did you know that when you
No.
lived out there?
No, I read that and I thought, what?
I would have
How
gone
would
to
that
school
work?
and just been like so pompous and cocky about that. I'd been like, I'm from Morony, where Great Falls was supposed to be.
Yeah.
We are the OGs. Like I would have so
Yeah, no.
I would have gotten hit in the head with a shovel a number of times. And I would have known why. And I'd be like, yeah, I get that. I deserve it.
Yeah, no, that was never anything. I mean, and I think my parents, because my mom and dad were really big into history and stuff like that. So I think they would have been aware of that or said something at some point or somebody, but nobody that I know that lived in any of the dams or anybody never said anything about that. So I don't know.
Probably
Actually,
for your own safety.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, I don't know. But that I thought that was weird because I thought I never heard that.
Yeah.
I mean, never, ever. So I don't know where that came from. That was new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We might just be making up history. I mean, you don't. What if the people running those big brown signs are like me and they're like, we're just going to
make
put
it up.
this.
See
we're
if
gonna
anyone
put this
checks us.
together.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
I
It's
hope
like,
not, but
yeah, I think, the reason why I contacted you in the first place, because I've been wanting to come back for a long time. And then I thought, and so I was looking at different things and just, I knew the houses were gone because, again, my friend's mother had, she would always keep me informed and stuff. And then I saw this thing about, the clubhouse was a homestead. And I thought, what?
yeah.
How
does that happen? Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're making crap
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and I thought, where do people get this? And then
Yeah.
it was like the lily pond was some kind of Indian symbol. And I thought, no, the round thing is like the basis for the lily pond.
Yeah.
And,
Like,
and
where is this coming from?
Yeah, where's it coming from? So sometimes, that happens because one person says this and the other person says that. They put it together, or
Yeah.
who knows? And, so...
Well, and there's a lot that's still mysterious.
Yeah, there's a
about
lot.
that
Yeah,
area.
and I've really been sort of now, when I go back home, I'm gonna still try to do some research and see if I can find out more. Most of the people that I knew that lived there are gone, so it's really hard. But maybe I'll find somebody because I just I'm curious too. What happened to the houses? And maybe, I was told and it wasn't important to me at the time.
Right.
And I've forgotten it, but I think I would.
Maybe your house exists somewhere. It got moved somewhere else. and it's-
And actually, I've got that little bit of mystery in Seattle because we moved from here to Seattle and the house that we had in Seattle got moved.
Oh, really? Funny. Just leaving remnants of homes everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and so for a number of years, I tried to find that house too, because I don't remember where that got moved. And
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, those things you just think would stay in one
You're
place.
correct. Yeah. All of your houses picked up, moved.
This house just picked up and walked away
Yeah.
again.
Keeps
know
happening
where
to
it
me.
yeah, exactly. I know the location of where the house used to be, but where it is now.
Where it wandered off to, no one knows. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got a history of house moving.
Is the one you're in now capable of moving?
No.
Oh, okay. That's
We'll
good.
bring it back later.
There
We'll
you
just
go.
pick it up
yeah,
and
we're
move
bring
it.
that one back. Have you been to the? Have you gone to the History Museum, Cascade County Historical Society, and chatted with them at all?
No, I haven't yet. I've hoped to maybe today, but
Yeah.
I was at the Interpretive Center. I spent a lot of time yesterday
It's
there.
easy to do.
Yeah, because that was really interesting.
So it's been a while since you've been back. What's the biggest changes you've noticed?
Curious.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, you say it's changed a lot, and I'm like, well,
Yeah, well,
We've been the lobster in the water, so we
Right,
haven't
so
noticed the boiling.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, downtown, downtown Great Falls is really very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Honestly, it used to be very vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to I guess it was a Paris department store.
Uh-huh.
They used to have a doll hospital.
Oh my gosh.
A
Funny.
hospital for dolls.
Hey, I get that.
Yeah.
I had a porcelain doll that looks a little Halloweenish now because mine went to, the second-rate hospital.
Couldn't afford the downtown one. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So, that's gone. And I remember like lots of, I don't know, just more vibrant. And I'm staying at the Gibson Hotel.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Brand
which
new.
is very nice.
Well, good.
Exceptionally. I guess I'm putting a plug for them, but
You're having a good experience.
Yeah,
that's good.
Great. It's a really great hotel, so you can walk.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like there aren't a lot of stores.
Yeah.
There used to be a lot more stores, more restaurants. Just used to be more vibrant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I know some of that is moved out to, what is it, 10th?
Yeah.
10th
Yeah,
Avenue.
10th Avenue.
That's just really the way cities changed from, the downtown used to be the business district.
Yeah.
And the 80s and 90s hit.
It
And
blew out
to
into,
malls, and now we're going back the other direction. So
We are.
Yeah.
it has, the downtown's come a long way in the last 10 years. So it is a lot more vibrant than it used to be, but not at the level it was when
Completely.
you were. Yeah.
And it will, I think it's safe to say it's never going to look like it did.
No, and I think that's
Which
fair
is-
for most
Most
downtown
communities.
Yeah.
But I look at the pictures from like the 30s, 40s, and 50s of downtown Great Falls, and you just it just looks like it had a different energy.
Yes.
It looks like
total
just
different.
a completely different community, and I'm like, God, I want to be
that
in
again.
that town.
Yeah.
Well, Great Falls
Because you
is-
just can't. For us young punks, we just can't get that back.
Right.
Yeah, and that's I think that's typical of a lot of cities. I mean,
Yeah.
Seattle's struggling with their downtown.
Yeah.
and, even San Francisco's got a lot of problems with their downtown. I guess I shouldn't say that too much. But that's maybe probably typical. But I just remember it very, very, very vibrant.
Yeah.
And I always remember the Civic Center building. I mean, that just always has stuck in my mind. I guess as a kid, it was just impressed me.
Yeah.
And, and so that's very, very different. And then it's very quiet. I mean, it's really quiet. I thought a few stores might be open yesterday, but
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for Labor Day.
Labor Day. Yeah.
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 So, when you were a kid in downtown Great Falls, did they still have the fountain out front of Civic Center? Or
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
did they have the trolley still? Because I think
No,
that
there
was
was
gone
n-
like
no.
in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, no, the trolley was gone. There was
Okay.
no trolley. It was just on the Civic Center. I seem to remember that there was you could go to movies there.
Oh.
That would make sense.
Yeah, and I remember there was I remember going to a movie and there was a famous movie star that was there. I don't know if she had something to do with the movie or something else, because I keep thinking it was Tippi Hedren, but because she was the one in The Birds.
Oh.
But I don't think I don't know. I don't know if it was her or not, but I just remember she was blonde and
Yeah.
and so, and then I think my sister she liked to go ice skating there, so it must have been
There was a rink
Yep.
in there at one point.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. So she went skating there. I don't know why I was not a skater.
Well, there's only one pair of skates, and your sister claimed them.
I think
Apparently
so.
you never wanted skates. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I had no idea. So, but yeah, so we used to go there. So we went around town, and again, I remember Gibson Park really well because I love the swans.
Yeah.
And that was really pretty. So that seems to be fairly the same. I didn't go in the Civic Center. It looked like it was closed for construction.
Well,
You can get it on the sides, but
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Construction should be done sometime 2024.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're just
Okay.
working on the stairs now. They had big
Oh, okay.
facade improvements and some
It's been
infrastructure
going on for a
fun.
while. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Lewis and Clark Interpretive Center you talked about. We have 11 museums today, which is a claim to fame we have.
Most per capita in the state.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Montana's museum capital. Charlie Russell Museum.
Yeah, I've been there, but it's been, again, long time ago because I was a little mystified because they show the original. There's a sign. I went by there because I missed it yesterday. It said original house.
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
the log cabin. And I thought
Yep.
the log cabin was the original.
Well, what we've been told
Oh,
is the log cabin was Charlie's studio.
oh, okay.
And they built it like that right next to the house for his studio because his wife
okay.
Nancy kicked him out. Said, "You know what? I'm tired of your stinking oils, stinking
okay.
up the place." So they built that, and
Okay.
then they added on to the cabin, and that was the original first Charlie Russell Museum. Again, because
Okay.
nobody knew he was kind of a big deal. Like they just always knew him. They didn't, Nancy's
Yeah.
like, you guys need to make a museum. He's a big deal. And they're
Yeah.
like, everybody knew him. He wasn't that big of a
She's
deal.
she's the reason he's as big of a deal as he is.
Right.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
And so then
Yeah.
later they built the new museum and moved Charlie's work into there
Oh, okay.
and then restored the home. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I did go there the last time, but it wasn't that
Yeah.
big, huge museum.
Yeah, there's more developed to that
Yeah.
now too. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot to see. But I went around the town looking at different things that I remember. And then I had an older brother who's actually buried in out in Mount Olivet's cemetery.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay. Yeah.
so I
went and
went
saw him.
went
Yeah.
and saw him. So and then I'm just slowly going here and there and went to what used to be, I guess, Deaconess. Now it's Columbus Hospital.
Yeah.
So, and just trying to remember some of the things. Because actually, when I'd come back before, we never did that because we visited friends.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it wasn't an important thing then
Yeah.
because it was just visiting friends or relatives, whatever.
And your son is with you on this trip?
Yeah, he's with me. He's busy. He's working actually out of the hotels.
Oh.
So, but
Is he in San Francisco area as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
think it's one of those important things, like at some point in your life, you go from just visiting friends to that transition of sharing your personal history with your family
Yeah.
to go, here's our legacy. This is the things you're connected to
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
these random ways. And
Yeah.
I think it takes time to start to appreciate some of that as well.
Yes.
What did you took your son out to?
Yeah.
Morony?
I took him out
Yeah.
to Morony, and he was actually quite curious. He is very interested in the dam culture.
Yeah. What it meant to be a damn kid? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it is a completely. We have friends that are dam workers down south of town at Holter,
Oh, okay.
and so it's just a completely. It's for me, I think it's nothing about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you've got this big operation, and you've got all these, I don't know, stories you can tell that are
Yeah.
probably not true. But then even if you get to tour like a powerhouse, just the operation of it is just it's crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, I've been in a number of different powerhouses because my dad's friends worked here and there, so I've been and always was fascinating to me. And even trying to explain to some of my friends, like I tried to tell them, I never lived in town. I lived out in the country on the river. And so they're picturing, again,
like a farmhouse kind of.
Yeah, or they might picture that, but they picture, like little towns and stores or things along the way.
Like
and
little communities.
Yeah, and it's like, no, there is zilch.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
Nothing
the
there.
Evans farm, which I remember.
Yep. Still there.
And it's still there. And basically, it's nothing. I mean, it's just plains. I mean, wheat fields. And they can't envision that because it's, where I live, it's, even if you go out in the country, it's still built up. There's something, every few miles.
Yeah.
And so I actually found a great postcard, better than my pictures, that shows exactly that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yep.
Because they just can't envision
Can't
it.
wrap your head around
Right.
what that looks
Yeah,
like.
yeah. Because, a lot of people, they think of Montana, they think of Yellowstone Park, Glacier Park.
Yep.
Yeah.
If they're a little bit more in the know, they might know Bozeman, maybe
Right.
Billings, but they don't know the in-betweens. They might have heard the name Great Falls, but they don't know what
Right.
Great Falls is.
No.
So it's really sort of interesting because it's quite different than a lot of people that are not from here or haven't traveled extensively. They don't know. They just know the most well-known publicized
Areas.
things.
Yeah.
Did you have nicknames for the kids that lived in town? Did you call them townies?
No. I think we weren't, because I didn't really know any kids in town.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, because it was just really literally to school, back again.
Yeah.
I mean, we got picked up and, sometimes we got picked up early, maybe by parents or somebody to do something in town, but we didn't associate.
Didn't really hang out with the kids in town.
No, didn't know any kids in town
So
at
you were
all.
your own little clique out there, and
Absolutely,
the damn kids.
yeah. The damn kids, we were together, and that was it. Yeah, we
That's your
just
gang.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we, because the bus took us, back home. So that was it.
I grew up in the middle of nowhere, and we had like 3 town kids. But those 3 town kids, like when the buses wouldn't run, those 3 town kids went to school
still?
so
Yeah.
that we could count it as a school day. And then we'd show up the next day, and they're like, "School was stupid yesterday." I'm like, I can imagine.
Yeah.
There was 3 of you here. But hey, thanks for showing up so that we don't have to make that day up later.
Count it. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's interesting you said that, because obviously I had to associate with town kids at school. But,
Right.
because it wasn't just a class for Morony
For
Dam.
you guys, yeah. You come into town, but you don't interact with anybody else. Yeah.
You had your own little fenced area. These are the damn kids.
Yeah, right. No one talked to them.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I mean, I remember having friends in class and playing outside and stuff. But
even my husband, who grew up here in Great Falls, much later not much later, but later than you did, everything was neighborhood based. And so you didn't really stray, even though you went to school with other kids, the only people you associated with were like your neighbors, either across the alley or next door or across the street. So, I mean, it made sense to me that, hey, we're damn kids. We don't need to talk to you.
You have your
We'll
own
be
thing.
nice to you. Just don't hit me in the head with a shovel. But I'm heading back out to the dam.
Only my other damn kids can do that. Yeah.
yeah. I just I mean, I remember a few kids from the class, and I still have some of my class pictures.
Oh, yeah.
When I went, because when I went to see the school, the Roosevelt, and I got inside, and I said, "Well, where's the cafeteria?" And he said, "Oh, there is no cafeteria." And then I thought, oh, yeah, I do sort of remember. We did have a cafeteria. We ate in the gym. They brought these tables and all of that.
Okay.
Because
and put the tables down and then put them away.
I guess that's what we did at my elementary school, too. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I had a cafeteria.
Yeah. And I thought, oh, okay, but Yeah, and it was, but my gosh, it just looked the same.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember it. Well, I mean, I'm sure when I was a kid it was new, but my memory of it is an old school.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we just, when we finished, we got on the bus, we went home to Morony, and that
Yeah.
was the end of town. I mean,
Yeah.
unless we had something to do, or I know I took dance lessons from.
So I have to know, did you make a career out of dancing, and did your sister make a career out of
Oh.
ice skating?
No way.
Oh, her dreams did not come true.
And I've tried ice skating many times, but my ankles just don't.
If only she would have shared her skates. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, her son was actually a ice hockey.
Oh.
He did.
There you go.
He got into ice hockey big time, but no, my sister, no. Me, no dancing either.
Aw.
Yeah.
Snake wrangling. That's what you should have gotten into. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There is a guy in town that does.
Yeah.
He gets called, and he'll capture snakes, and then he does
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's
snake
the guy to call.
demonstrations.
Mhm.
Really?
You could have
Yeah.
done that.
Oh my
Got your
gosh.
chair and your rake and your.
It's fun to see him because he's very passionate about it, but he does a lot of education about these are the kind of snakes, and like he'll kind of, how everybody loves puppies, and not a whole bunch of people want to cuddle up with a snake,
No,
Yeah.
not
but
me.
he tries to bring kind of that puppy element to the snakes. Like, here, hold this snake,
Ooh.
and this is what it's like. And of course, there's apprehension.
Yeah.
But then I saw my little niece do it, and I'm like, I can be tough too, and
Yeah.
hold a snake, and it was so awful.
Your brain just
Oh.
has this inner,
Yeah.
no,
No.
inner reason to not
Snakes
like
and
them.
mice. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna snuggle or hang out with them.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. There's I think she works at the Gibson, and I was talking to them because one of the guys goes out to Morony to fish, and I was saying, well, we couldn't get down to the road to the actual powerhouse because it said construction, and he says, well, you can sort of go down there. I said, well, they have a gate now. You can't get past the gate. So, but anyway, the other girl that was there was talking about, we're getting into snakes again, and she was saying, oh, I love snakes. She said, I pick them up over in the water, and I thought, oh, no,
See,
no,
they
not
shouldn't
me.
be. They shouldn't. They shouldn't be able to climb trees. They shouldn't be able to swim in water. Like just
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
them land dwell, and that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. But my son said actually when we were at Morony, we were walking towards the little handrails to go down to the powerhouse, and he said he heard some rattling. And luckily, I did not. So
Good.
because I mean I was
I bet you can still run pretty fast.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. I was reading something, and I don't know whether it was here or somewhere else, but something about they can strike half of their length, and
Oh dear.
and and the venom their venom sac they don't have any control, so the whole
Yeah.
venom pouch goes. And I thought, okay, so
And the babies are worse because they can't control it.
They
It's
know
like more
nothing.
potent.
yeah. So I thought,
Ah.
so he said he heard that, and I thought, okay, yeah. And the grass, I wanted so much to walk and
Yeah.
see, but I just
You didn't want to get
no.
didn't want that as much as you didn't want to get bit by a snake.
Yeah. I mean, because I've heard that it's worse this year.
Oh.
Rattlesnake. So, no.
That sends chills down my spine. Like, yeah. I don't
But
blame you.
but as a kid, I don't remember being that afraid. I mean,
Yeah.
I just remember, you
Aware.
played, and of course the grass. It was just like lawn grass.
It was
Right.
yeah.
Mowed and maintained. and-
Yeah, it was well maintained. So I mean, if you went to places that were like in the clubhouse that
Right.
were dark and cool, where they like to hang out in summer, then you might expect to find something. And the bull snakes, they were everywhere. And so, I learned the difference. I'm not sure
Right.
I would. I
Yeah, I was like, do you still know? Would you know now?
well.
Shall we bring them out?
Yeah. Let's do a test.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of know, but I'm not sure if I saw one that I would, be comfortable enough to think about it.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, but yeah, as a kid, it wasn't. a big thing. And, you know, we had lots, like I said, we had lots of animals. And so we were never afraid. We played outside 90% of the time. We didn't have TV till later. So it was all outside. That was it.
Huh.
But I remember a friend, another friend of my parents, he talked about one time he used to fish and hunt a lot, and one time he woke up in a sleeping bag with a rattlesnake beside him. And it's like, you know, he knew what to do, so he was okay. So I heard all these stories.
What do you do if you wake up with a rattlesnake in your sleeping bag?
Next to you.
Yeah, don't move.
Wait for them to wake up and slither away.
Yeah, that's basically
Tap them on the shoulder.
Excuse me.
Hey, buddy.
And you wake up.
It's a great night.
Yeah.
It's time for you to move on.
I know. So I heard all kind of stories, and then we used to go pick huckleberries. You know,
There were huckleberries out there?
Yeah.
not out there. No.
Okay.
Okay.
Not
I was
out
like,
there.
whoa, when did those leave?
I was about to change my
no.
stance
It's
on
really less
huckleberries.
lush now.
Yeah, no, not out there. We I think this was more in Thompson Falls area.
With your relatives.
Yeah, and
That
then,
makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we'd go up in the mountains. But I remember a couple times, we got to move because the bears are.
Yeah.
Bears, snakes, there's always a threat for you.
Yeah.
Well, it's nature. This
Yes.
is the way the world works for us.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, when I moved, I moved at one point from Seattle to San Francisco, and I lived in this apartment. And San Francisco, the apartments are like right next to each other, and you look out the window and you see the wall or a window.
Yeah.
And it's like, I couldn't handle it because I'm from Montana with
Yeah.
lots of space and big skies.
Right.
And I can't, that's still just not me. I have to have that space. And
Do you have that in San Francisco?
not in San
Okay.
Francisco, no.
Yeah.
And I don't live in San Francisco. I live outside, and it's sort of a countryish area.
Nice.
Yeah.
There isn't much out there either,
Yeah.
but a lot more than there ever was in Morony.
But it's kind of ingrained with how you grew up of like what feels comfortable to you.
Yeah, I have to have space around. I have to have trees
Sky.
and sky and all of
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I just remember that drove me absolutely
Yep.
nuts in the beginning. So
Yeah.
I remember house shopping with my husband in Great Falls, and we were both ranch kids. And so just trying to find something that was comfortable where you weren't just right next. And our lots in Great Falls are not that small,
Yeah. No.
but I was like, I can't do this. My husband's like, yeah, we're not doing any of this in town stuff. I said, well, that's good. We know now after 60 houses that we looked at in town.
All right. Maybe this isn't for us. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I that's the way it's like it comes from that. So like I guess they say you can't you can
Take the girl out of the country.
but you can't take the country out of the girl.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and it's still true. I like space.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Room
like,
to roam. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels good to be back here because it's just, you know, there isn't a lot. And I still remember when there were no speed limits here.
Yeah.
I don't remember when the speed limits came in. It's been quite a while, I think.
30 years ago.
That doesn't seem. Oh, that probably is
I don't
right.
know.
It was when I was in college. We didn't have them,
Okay.
so that's about.
Oh. Okay.
Unfortunately, the time frame. Like, oh no, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm pretty.
Because we moved to Montana in 2000. They were around then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing, speed limits have increased here.
Oh, yeah. I saw.
That's been like 2, maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, okay.
On the interstate, you can go 80 in
yeah,
some spots.
I saw that
that's
because we
different.
went down to Helena a day or two ago, and I thought, Wow,
Ooh,
80.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kind
There's
of
no
like
need
not
to go-
having a limit. Yeah.
There's no need to go that fast, but people are like, well, if it's 80, then I
Then
can
I
go
can
10
85.
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
That's
you
not what that
shouldn't be
means.
going
Yeah.
any of this speed.
Yeah, I know. And I love this. I saw a sign that said reduce speed to 75. And I thought,
Oh.
reduce speed to 75.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
People still think that though. Like I'll occasionally get people that ask me or still think there's not
Yeah.
a speed limit here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was reasonable and prudent. And
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You trust people to be reasonable and prudent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And we learned our lesson.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
speed limits again.
And that was only
Yeah.
on the highways. I mean, they're like in town and stuff. You still
Right.
had them.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one thing it's really easy in Great Falls to, to the streets are easy.
Yes.
It's
Mhm.
really easy
Yeah.
to get around.
Yeah.
Streets go north and south, avenues east and west, and central's our divider.
Yeah. That's what we always tell people. Like, okay, here's the map. If you
The
get
original
this
town
section,
site.
right?
Yeah.
That neighborhood, this part, who knows what happened there? But
Yeah.
the original area is
Yeah.
laid out where it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, it's easy. The only thing that surprised me, and I don't remember that, is there's so many one-way streets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Has that been that way for, I mean, maybe it was, and I don't
This-
remember that.
This we do not know when the one-ways happened, but I do know the reason we have so many one-ways is because in the 80s, the city was was the largest city in the state of Montana.
Yeah.
And was on the brink of growing. And so as part of that growth strategy, maybe they were enacted then, but the one-ways were designed for quick and easy movement of traffic when we grew to like 180,000. Well, we never
We
that
haven't
never
gotten there
happened.
yet. Yeah.
We're still working on it. But that
Slowly
is
but
why there
surely.
are so many of the one-ways throughout
To
the
make
the
community
flow.
was to make it flow faster and better, but
Okay.
haven't really needed
Yeah.
them.
Debatable on what that does right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, we always were vying for Billings. Was Billings bigger or Great
Yeah.
Falls? That was the big
Yeah.
thing because my mom's best friend lived in Billings. And so they had kids. Of course, my parents had us.
Yeah.
So we were always, back and forth. No, Great Falls is bigger. No, Billings is bigger.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. But now I think Billings is
Yeah.
much, much bigger.
Yeah.
It is biggest city in the state. I wonder because so much has changed just in the way we behave. Like when I grew up on the ranch, we would go into town, which was 40 miles away one way, once a month. We didn't go that often. And now it's nothing for my family to come into or go to town like 2-3 times, maybe 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So when you were young, did you travel a lot to Billings or Bozeman? Did you do weekend getaways or were those special trips?
I think they were special trips. It wasn't weekend getaways. It was usually special trips, for, like some kind of vacation,
Okay,
something like that. But we traveled a lot through Montana, even as a kid. I think it was more, special trips. It wasn't like, like the other day, and I've sort of forgotten, and I thought, and I knew this before we came, but I thought, oh, Helena's really close.
Yeah.
I mean, but as a kid, Helena would have been a
It
long
felt far.
trip.
Yeah.
It was different then, and I don't know, the roads I'm sure are better too. Yeah.
Well, I would hope so if they're going
Yeah.
to let us go 80.
80. Right. Yeah.
But it was a long trip. And, today we don't think anything of it to just head down to Helena for the
No,
day
it's a quick
for
trip.
pizza.
It's
and
an
then head
easy,
home.
it's an easy,
Yeah.
beautiful drive.
Yeah.
One of my favorite
it's
drives.
a beautiful
Mhm.
drive. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gorgeous. Yeah, and it's just it everything was far, and I don't remember the distance being far to go to school in Great Falls, from Morony, but when I went out there, I thought, wow,
Yeah.
I did this
It's
every
funny
day.
your perspective as a kid of what makes sense and what's far. And
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure on the bus we had, we were having
You were
fun
entertaining
and
yourself.
entertaining
You're not
ourselves.
driving. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it was a different experience. But yeah, I mean, everything's otherwise seemed far. But we did, we because again, my dad, like I said, had friends, and I don't know. That's another mystery. It's like why he knew all these people, and they all worked for Montana Power at different dam sites, and
Right.
so. If whether some of them worked originally, I can't imagine they all worked at Morony in the beginning, but
they were all part of the same company, so maybe there was
yeah,
a lot of interaction for
Yeah.
work or
yeah. So, but yeah, they were all over the state, and so it's a beautiful state. There's a lot to do here, and a lot I think that's hidden that people don't know, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
and and even in Great Falls, there's a lot of things. Like the buffalo jump. I don't remember anything about that as a kid.
Well, that would have been from where you lived quite a drive to get out there, too.
Yeah, exactly. So, that was, I mean, I didn't know anything about that. Even the last time I came, I didn't go out there. So I don't know how long that's been sort of a thing. Or
There's snakes there, too, you have to watch out for.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think
it's
everywhere.
equal distance from
It
here
is.
to the Great Falls as it is from here to the Buffalo Jump.
just
So,
different
is it?
direction. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
but I would almost bet that the First People's Buffalo Jump was created fairly recently, and I only say that because in the podcast episode, maybe we talked with James about it, James Parker Shield, in our early episodes. He was part of the kind of group that worked on creating that as a state park and making a visitor center out there, and that would have been under the Roscoe administration.
Okay.
I think. I could be making stuff up, but this seems to be right.
Yeah.
Which wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
And it would have been well after.
The last time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never really thought about how long that's been out there, or the interpretive center at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked...
I mean, the jump's been there
Right.
for a long
Long
time.
time. That's not new.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's just like
But
any
more of
other
the sites that it
landscape
is.
feature. You're just not going to know the significance of it
Right.
until somebody tells you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Especially there, it's very unassuming until you're like on it, and then
Right.
you're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everything. And I went to Giant Springs and I looked
Yeah.
at that, and last time I was here, I was out there and I looked at it and wow, this doesn't look the same either. There's a little bit that looks the same, but I thought, and I remember it, but it's like different. And then I have a picture from, I think it's my mom. I mean, before I was born, 1942. I keep calling it Crystal Springs because there's Crystal Springs where I live.
Okay.
Giant Springs, and it's from 1942. And I thought, wow, that looks quite different too. So it's changed a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, everything changes for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
But it's sort of interesting to look at those things, look at it now, remember the last time I was here, remember when I was a kid. It's different.
Yeah.
But I remember things like Eddie's Bakery,
Oh,
yeah.
and I guess that's not there anymore.
Building is still there, and it
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
says Eddie's Bakery on it,
Yeah.
on the building.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the refinery
Yeah.
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
Mhm.
I mean, that was little teeny tiny.
Yeah.
And I can't remember when the smelter, the black,
Yep.
Yeah.
The stack.
the stack was taken down. That's
Mid
been-
80s.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I think that must have been gone the last time I came too.
Yeah, it probably would have. Mhm.
Yeah. So there was nothing really too much on that side of the river. There was a
Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
That's still there.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
went there to eat.
Did you?
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go. And Boris would have been there,
Yeah.
across the street there. Yeah.
And the one thing about Montana is you don't get small portions.
No.
Yep. Got to fill you up. Winter's coming.
No.
Yeah.
Yep. There's definitely every meal you get is definitely for two people.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, I had sort of forgot about that, and
Yeah.
I thought, and I
That's
ordered
funny.
I had to have prime rib. I had to have
Yeah.
beef, of course, and
Yeah.
so I ordered the smaller portion, and I thought, oh my
Oof.
gosh.
Yeah. Mhm.
Not the whole cow, please.
Yeah.
I said small.
Yeah. Not a small cow.
Yeah.
A small portion.
Yeah, I mean, it was excellent, but it was,
Yeah.
it was like,
That's
oh,
funny.
goodness. Yeah, so I sort of forgotten that. And then we ate at Tracy's, and that was like, and I had some trout, which,
Oh.
Yeah, got to get while you're here.
yeah, had to have that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had huckleberry ice cream
Ooh, yeah.
in Helena, so.
Got to have that
Yeah.
while you're in Montana.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, because we had actually at Rainbow Dam, one of my parents' friends, she made huckleberry pie that was just
Ooh, that sounds
incredible.
good. Yeah. I do love
yes.
huckleberries. Mhm.
Yeah, so it's those memories don't fade.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. Some do, and some just stay vibrant,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yeah,
Do you remember much about the Air Force Base, about Malmstrom when you were here?
You know, a little bit. I remember going out there for an air show at least once.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, and I have some very poor quality pictures of that, videos of it. But
Yeah.
yeah, and I went out
'Cause
there.
they
I
would have
drove-
still had the flying missions out there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I went past there yesterday, but I guess you can't really get in, or it was closed, or I don't know what.
It's a little bit tougher to get on.
Yeah.
You have to go to the visitor center and then have them call the museum. And
Yeah, there's a museum
There's
you
a
can
museum
go to,
out
but,
there, but-
otherwise you have to know somebody.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we did. We went to the base before, so yeah. I mean, I think I've gone pretty much everywhere that I remember. You know, I mean, downtown, it's like there's nothing I remember actually now.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only thing I remember that I see is that one funeral home.
Croxford.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's still sort of pretty, actually.
Yeah.
It's so
That big-
pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
They do rent it out as a entertainment venue. You
Oh,
can rent it. You
Yeah,
can
it's
rent
kind
it
of
for
a-
like weddings and other things as
Is
well.
it's still a funeral
It
home?
is.
or-
It is.
Oh.
It's an
It's
interesting.
very beautiful.
It is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. So you can
Yeah.
rent a funeral home for a wedding.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, I think it's that perspective, but when you're in there, it's just
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is really pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And then I went past Largent School, and I don't remember if I mentioned this, but my sister had told me that they had found the Lewis and Clark cache
Cache?
there.
Yeah.
So I went.
Which would that? What is
I
that
have
one
no
now?
idea. Do
Is
you
that
know
the-
what Largent School is called today?
Or where
Where
the cross streets? Is it maybe
it's on I think it's on Central.
Is it just a couple blocks up from the funeral home?
I think so.
I
it's
think
that
it's
big
that-
building. Yeah.
The
Paris Gibson Square Museum of Art?
it could
No,
be,
no,
or
it's
it's
not
that. Is it the big
oh,
white?
it's
Is
on
it
the
white?
other- No, it's a big brick building, but it's on the other side from
Oh.
the funeral home. I think it's maybe off of Central, but it's
Okay. I know where it is.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't
too.
know what the name of that school is, but I know
Yeah.
where it is now.
I think I
yeah.
know
I
what you're
don't
talking
think
about.
it's
Yeah.
a school anymore.
Yeah.
I forgot what it is, but it was that's where my sister
Okay.
went.
Yeah.
And she had come home one day and told us that they found a small
Huh.
cache from Lewis and Clark there.
On that property.
Yeah, but again, I talked to the docent at the interpretive center. He
Didn't know.
He didn't know. But a lot of those things, like they probably, who knows? It
Right.
wasn't that big of a deal then.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I remember her telling me that, and I think it was like not really important stuff. It was some maybe I think they thought it was some dried food or something like that. And,
No one wants that old food, so they throw it out.
Yeah. Hard to say, but
Yeah.
I had tasted it.
It's not like it's like canning. It's not like it's
Well-
preserved.
No, but they, Native Americans used to make pemmican,
Yeah, that's true.
and that lasted
Yeah.
quite a while. So
That long though?
again,
Yeah.
I don't think so, but
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot.
yeah,
That's how you go. That's how you go.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good obituary, is all I'm saying.
That's true.
She ate food from the
From the Lewis and Clark
from the
expedition.
1800s.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
not a
remember
smart
what it
girl.
was. I just remember that, her telling me that they found that. And that was, I, don't know anything more about that. So, yeah, so it was sort of interesting. And then I, remember, Roosevelt, no, nothing, just the school, but the Largent's still there.
Yeah.
I think it does say Largent on the
Oh,
building.
okay.
And I might be wrong. Maybe it's First, but it's right there.
Yeah.
It's very, very close,
Okay.
but no longer a school.
Yeah.
Well, I really hope you get to go to the History Museum.
Yeah.
Because they have so many archives and the team there is really good, and it'll help you kind of walk through history because they do have some great exhibits about downtown the way it used to look.
Oh,
And maybe you can both help fill each other in on gaps of Morony Dam, because that's also, there's just not really any displays or much information anywhere in town about it either. So
yeah, exactly.
you can have a whole exhibit named after you. How about that? Yeah.
Oh boy.
We're going to have to dig up some dirt now so we can have some drama in that
There you go.
exhibit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see if there, because I did see that. I'd like to see if there's some more pictures or history. Because, I remember, like different things, and I can still go back and picture it really, really, really well.
Yeah.
There's a lot that's, your memory tosses out for whatever reason. But I do remember downtown and the parades and,
Yeah.
Well, Kathy, it's been a pleasure getting to hang out with you and visit about Morony Camp. And folks, you should know we're not done with Kathy, but you are.
Yeah.
She brought some photos, and we're going to dig into some of those old photos.
Absolutely.
And then Shannon may or may not share what she finds out with you, because she's in control of that. She can do whatever
Planning
she
on
wants.
sharing them, yes.
So, Kathy, thanks for being here. Thanks for sharing all your stories. And, folks, until we see your bright, happy, healthy, smiling face here in Great Falls, we hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you might be. We'll see you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town. Damn, that felt good.